I stood there motionless, staring at it for hours. It was much more ominous in the dark of the night. The roof was lit by the faint glare of the moon. It was rotten, with small holes through it. Rainwater was seeping from it, letting out a drip every now and then as it hit the dark puddle it was forming. The windows were broken, smashed in. There was a faint howl as the wind rushed through the broken glass. The door was rotting along with the roof. There was no doorknob. I was assuming it fell off of the door at some point. My friend Noah nudged me forward. "Go on already," I snapped back. "Do you see this shit? You know I'm scared of stuff like this." "You go first and I'll follow with the flashlight." Noah grunted as he pushed by me, making his way towards the front door. I walked after him, shortly followed by my other friend Zach. Noah placed his right foot on the wooden step near the front of the house, letting out a loud creak throughout the forest, which sent chills down everybody's spines. Noah takes a big gulp, looking back at Zach. "On second thought, I think Zach would make the better leader," Noah proclaimed. We had decided to all just go in at once. Zach crept up to the door, nudging it first with his foot. Noah and I were on the other side of the door, waiting for one if something jumped out. No response came from the nudge, so he violently kicked the door, swinging it wide open, revealing a dark room with busted furniture. I took a peek inside, scanning the room for animals. The walls were painted a dark red, chipping off slightly. On the other side of the room, there was a couch tipped over next to a wall of portraits. The furniture was torn open, probably by animals passing by over the years this house has been sitting here. The floor was wooden, with holes in it every now and then. Noah walks around my body, taking his first look of the interior. As much as we've seen it at day, we had never gone in it or even bothered to open the door. Why did we decide to do it at night? I have no idea. Noah takes a cautious step inwards, gazing at the room as if waiting for something to pop out at him. He takes another step, then another, and another. Suddenly, he gags horribly and makes way for the entrance at full speed. He trips at the door, flipping himself over onto the stairs, then slamming into the wet dirt. We rush over to Noah to help him out as he lies there face first in the mud, groaning in pain. We grab Noah by the shoulders and heap him up off the ground, setting him on the stairs to rest. "What was it, man? Why'd you do that?" I question Noah as he spits out chunks of dirt. "The smell," he starts, "it was dreadful. It was as if blood was mashed up with every horrible smell in the world. God, it was just awful." Zach and I make a few unsteady laughs, trying to make humor out of what he had said, although it didn't comfort us at all. After calming Noah down, we had all decided to head back into the house, covering our mouths and noses in the dirty shirt cloth. This time I had gone in first, which I hated. The more we brought ourselves into the house, the more we were engulfed in this darkness. The cloth helped, but I could still smell that horrific smell seeping through my shirt. We walked throughout the house, finding nothing special. Just usual stuff you'd find in a house from the old days. Not exactly sure what time this house was occupied around, but it was definitely earlier than the 1900s. We crept around basically everything on the only floor, kitchen, living room, bathroom, etc. We decided to leave the house and head back to my house due to not finding anything of interest. As we passed the torn-up couch, Zach stopped walking. "Gee guys," Zach said shakily, "do you guys hear that?" I stopped breathing, trying to concentrate on the atmosphere of the house, attempting to listen to what he was hearing. There was a silence other than the occasional drip still coming from the water. Then I heard it. Coming from beneath the floorboards, there was a sound which was coming from none of us. Breathing. Someone was breathing down there, rapidly as if terrified and panicked. I lower myself down to the dirty ground, placing my ear on the floorboard, amplifying the breathing. It sounded like a woman, but I wasn't totally sure. As I started trying to locate the exact spot that the breathing was coming from, there was a loud thump which nearly shook the house. The breathing had stopped. I slowly rise up from the floorboard, glancing my eyes towards Zach and Noah. They were frightened, shaking, standing near the front door. "Let's get the hell out of here," I say to them as I make my way toward the door. I press my hand up against the soggy front door, pressing hard against it, It wouldn't budge. I placed my second hand up against it, pushing even harder than the first time. Still no result. I spin around quickly, telling the news of the door to Zach and Noah. "Try the window," Zach suggests, although the windows were much smaller than they seem from the outside. No luck with that. "Search the house," Noah says, hoping for a way out. I had decided to search the living room, while Zach searched in the kitchen, and Noah the bathroom. I started with the couch, looking inside and around it for fallen items that could have broken open the door. The couch was a light purple, decorated with red flowers printed onto it. It had many holes torn in it, revealing the fuzz and foam inside the couch. I gently attempted to shake the couch to see if anything living was inside of it, although it was inseparable to the ground. It seemed as if it was cemented to the floor with great force. Instead, I slid my hand into one of the holes, trying to feel for anything of use. The deeper I lowered I realized that there was no bottom to the couch. It just kept going and going. I adjusted myself onto the couch, ready to reach my arm in as far as possible. I stick it down until I'm nearly shoulder deep until I feel something. Finally, the bottom. I mutter to myself, confused yet strangely fascinated at how deep the couch was. I started feeling the bottom of it, noticing it was more of a curve near the middle. It felt like cotton, the material a common shirt is made of. I travel my hand to the right side of the couch and start feeling something odd. The cotton texture quickly changed into something a little smoother. The more I moved my hand down the texture, the more it felt like hair. Then it stretched off into 5 stubby objects. I launched my hand out of the couch, nearly flinging myself back into the wall. I stare at the couch, realizing the horror inside of it. A body. I thought of the cotton, which must have been a shirt that the victim wore. As I moved along, the shirt had changed into skin, going down his arm and eventually his cold, dead hand. I stand up from the ground, intending on walking to Zach and Noah, but instead I'm interrupted by a cling while getting up. I turn around, adjusting my eyes on the floor, discovering a wooden trap door with a metal latch. "Guys," I shout, "you might want to get over here." "What is it?" Noah asks as he runs over to where I am. Both he and Zach stop by my sides, staring down at the wooden latch. It looked like it was in perfect condition, odd considering the condition the actual house was in. Zach drops to the ground, grabbing the metal handle firmly and pulling it back to the wall. "Well, it's our only chance out," Zach says, taking a big gulp, then lowering himself down the wooden stairs. "Ladies first," Noah nervously jokes, looking towards me. I take a step down, descending myself into the pitch-black room. As I went down, Noah shortly followed after. I met Zach at the bottom of the stairs, gazing around the concrete room. The room had extended into multiple dark hallways, engulfed in stench and shadows. "Okay," Zach starts. "Well, I'll take this hallway, Noah will take that one, and you take the other." He finishes, looking at both of us. I look down my hallways, swallowing my fear. I clench my fists, walking into the hallway. I place my hand on the wall, sliding it across the cold concrete, using it to keep my direction. As I move along, the strange stench from before progressively gets stronger and stronger. I stop, taking a moment to look around the hall when my hand starts getting wet. Something was dripping onto it. I pull my hand away from it and close to my nose, inhaling the scent. Blood. I turn around to make my way back to the house and find another way out. Standing in my way was a tall, slender woman. Her black, bloody hair was covering her pale face. Her dress was black, stained red from the blood of her victims. Her neck was snapped off to the side, revealing bloody bones. Her back was hunched over, spine nearly tearing out of her. She raised her long arm into the musty air. Her long, bony fingers reached out towards my face. I scream as I duck under her arm, bolting for the exit. I turn my head around, still sprinting full force, to discover the woman following me quickly. Feet of the ground, hair flying back. I snap my head back around, focusing on the stairs ahead. As I come into sight of the stairs, I see Zach and Noah standing there, petrified. I bolt through them up the stairs as they quickly follow. I'm jumping up the stairs in pairs, skipping every other step. My adrenaline is rushing. I can barely hear or see as I stumble up the stairs. I make it to the top, heading straight for the door as I collide into it with my shoulder. It busts open, launching wood into my shoulder. But I didn't care. I couldn't feel it. All of my blood was at my legs, focusing on nothing else other than running. I looked back around to find Noah not far behind me. No sight of Zach. But I wasn't turning back. I ran for 2 miles straight, making it to my house, stopping outside my door. I collapsed onto the concrete steps, looking out into the forest. Noah emerges from the forest, running as fast as I was. As he approaches my house, I slowly sit up and aim my eyes towards the ground. I hear him stop and sit down near me, gasping for air. "Where's Zach?" I mumble in his direction. He looks at me in the face, tears dropping from his. I don't know. I never saw him leave the house.